wherever you are in the world. We have Saint Murad in the house. Murad, it's been a while. How are you?
I'm good, and it's always great to be with you here and with the people.
Fantastic. I was just thinking today that it's pretty much 4 years since we first started collaborating. I saw that it was November the 1st, 2019, that we published our first video. Now, did November the 1st, All Saints Day, have any influence on your name, Saint Murad, or is that a coincidence?
Well, I have just learned today
All
that
right.
it has an impact.
Yeah, wow. There's something about, there's a Latin phrase, it's something like your name is like a predictor of the future. It's like nomen and omen. Someone probably in watching will probably know. Is it something like nomen est omen? Um, but it's anyway. It's hard to believe 4 years has gone by. And would you ever have thought that 4 years ago you would be here today talking about having completed a Quranic concordance even?
Never, never, ever would I thought I would be on YouTube or doing this kind of work.
Yeah,
But what sparked it is because the very first video we did together, I thought that people, maybe one will curse me, maybe the other one will say my voice is horrible and that's just it. But what actually happened is that a lot of people, they really gave me very good vibes and good comments and
yeah,
kept telling you to get me back again. So
yeah,
just this very video, it was a surprise, a
yeah,
huge surprise to me.
yeah.
And
So,
yeah,
oh, I was just going to say that for those who may not know, um, Murad was like any one of you writing comments under videos, and I was thinking to myself, God, this Murad guy, he seems to know his stuff. He's got a lot of historical knowledge, and he's good on the Arabic. And I thought, God, I must talk to this guy. And somehow, I don't know whether it was you that asked me or vice versa, but we ended up Skyping one Saturday evening.
yeah, I think it was a video you got Jay Smith, and maybe there was a few things about Arabic. I told you, no, maybe we can discuss this
Yes,
on Skype, just as a discussion. Then you told me in the end of the Skype call, why don't we record something? I told you,
yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
I
Oh, yeah. I
didn't
remember that.
imagine that people will like it.
Yeah, I remember that video with Jay. It's actually one of the best little videos. It was an hour long. It was in September 2019, and we covered so much ground. So yeah, that was the trigger, and yeah, it's hard to believe all that's happened as a result. So I suppose the thing I would take from it is you never know when you start knocking the dominoes. You don't know what effect it's going to have, and you're having a knock-on effect through your channel. And there's loads of other people who have started channels since then. Obviously, there was quite a few channels before our channels, but I think between myself, yourself, and Jay, I think we really have, if I can be so bold to say, we kind of led the historical critique into things. But obviously, there's obviously quite a few other people now involved in it. As Vilnius has rightly spotted at the old sneakers corner. Yeah. I think actually the time I closed Sneakers Corner was around the time Sneeko was sort of taken over, and I was confused. And I thought, oh, maybe this is not maybe a good name for the channel any longer. Then, to my surprise, became a Muslim after that, and then I think he's left again. But anyway, um, before we get into talking about the completion of your concordance, um, a lot of people obviously are keen to get hold of the PDFs. You know, when you get your translation done, what's the best way of people being in the loop? Because some people come on the channel and then they might be away for a few weeks. They might miss it, and what is the best way to make sure that they get the first announcement, or even is there any chance people can get an early uh, copy of the translation? I'm sure that a lot of people really want it ASAP.
Well, you see, this website called Buy Me a Coffee, uh, this has like an email list, and
Okay.
people tell you that if you want to have a business or if you want to have a close community that
Yeah.
really is interested in what you are doing, then
Yeah.
they should be on your email list.
Yeah.
So this link that people have they will find it everywhere in the description and in the live chat. I think it's pinned and maybe even in the comments. They will just open, and this is free. They will just type follow, and then they will write their accurate email that they
Yeah.
use. And every once in a while, not I will not send people any dumb emails like these marketing scammers. I hate that.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
humble
Same here.
saint doesn't do that,
Yeah.
So what I will send them is that only very important stuff. Maybe I will send them a PDF for free right into their email that I've done. Maybe I will send them an update about the translation, and also the people who will be on my email list will be the very first people to know about the translation before I say this on YouTube or
Brilliant.
before I say this anywhere.
Yeah.
So they will be very special. So they should be on my email list now. As we
Yeah.
speak, they should just type this follow and take it from there. So that, let's say YouTube closes my channel for any reason, I
Yeah.
still have these people. We still have each other. So
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah. I'm sure, like, as you get closer to the translation, the risk of that happening is going to increase because obviously there's going to be some within Islam who want to stop you from achieving your goal of having an accurate translation of the Quran. So I think that's a brilliant strategy, and I would definitely recommend anyone to make sure you don't get um, pushed out of the loop, as it were, that you get yourself on that. So tell us about the concordance. It's been how long since you started this? Because it's been a hell of a task to do.
I think probably 2 years since I started it,
Yeah,
and this is relatively short. This is very short.
yeah,
People take 10 years. I
yeah,
took 2 years because I'm not stupid and I'm not wasting time with the sin or standard Islamic narrative. As you know, I
yeah,
go to the dictionaries, go to the to linguistics, and that's what I have done.
yeah, yeah.
So
I've noticed
yeah,
you've been careful not to be contaminated with you know ideas circulating. You just looked at it as objectively as you can, just within its own context, which is brilliant.
yeah, exactly. And a lot of words mentioned in the Quran, maybe we were using as we used to play ball in the street when we were young. And I know exactly what this word means. And people they just give it too much. They overburden the word. They change it so much so that it sounds godlike. You
Yeah,
see, this is the stupidity.
yeah. Sort of parallel to what you're doing, it's become increasingly clear that there's certain words like Mahmed that are used in the Quran that seem to have had a different meaning originally, and even though the words are still the same, the meaning behind it has changed. Like for example, and this is something actually 2 years ago or thereabouts you had said to myself and Jay, which is the idea that Mahmed in the Quran is actually a reference to Jesus. That was your thing, and it's borne out to be true. When we've looked at it from lots of different angles, we can see now the beginnings of a transition from one set of meanings to another. So it's going to be really exciting to see if we can get back to the earlier meanings without the Islamic narrative or the Islamic filter, let's say, blocking our vision of what the words are really saying.
Yeah, one way to do this was reading a book called الفروق اللغوية للعسكري, meaning the differences or the subtle differences in language for a guy called Al-Askari. And this guy was not really invested into the standard Islamic narrative. He was really into poetry and
Yeah,
into uh, the classical Arabic poetry. And In this book, you will find, for example, the difference between hamad and madah. Madah would be praise, hamad would be something like extol. So that's why I tell you always that Muhammad, this is a very high kind of praise. This is divine kind of praise. You see, why do I know this? Because I am reading the right book. I am not wasting time with Ibn Kathir, with Al-Tabari, with these schmucks, basically. These people, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's interesting the Jewish inscription that we saw recently on the channel. Now it was I had given it as 518 AD. The person who sent it to me actually recalculated the years, and it was 523 AD. Not massive difference, but it refers to Lord of the Jews, and then it uses the word Hamid, as in highly praised, and obviously it's a reference to gold there. So that fits in with what you're saying about the divine connotation. So that's a good confirmation.
Yeah, exactly. So how I built this concordance is that I built it from scratch. I just read the Quran and I kept adding the Arabic words, and then I colored them. So I put the Arabic word in the table on the right and the English on the left, and I just color them so that, for example, these words in green, they are praise and thank, and these words that are mostly synonyms, they are closer to each other. This
Yeah,
is a bundle of words,
yeah.
and then another bundle of words. My concordance is above 200 pages,
Wow.
and I've created it, as I'm telling you, from scratch and not using any other sources that are Islamic. And you can ask, well, what's the difference? The difference is that there are a lot of words that have the same root that people don't know that it actually has the same root because they are contaminated with the standard Islamic narrative.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
I see Vilnius has said, is there an issue with language progression, even Shakespeare English versus modern English? Do you want to talk to that?
Um,
I
I don't
think,
think I really understand this question, but I want to say in my translation, I will be using both the modern and the ancient English
yeah,
because I don't have like the luxury to choose
yeah,
because there are some words in the Quran that are very weird that you will only find them maybe in the classical English, and there are
yeah,
some words like that,
yeah,
and sometimes you need the modern English.
yeah,
So that's what's going on, and people, they never obsess about the subtle differences between each words. They are just very, very casual with it, very
yeah,
fluffy. You know this translation called Sahih International and the other one Mustafa Khattab?
yeah,
I will just put those in the toilet and flush it. Very bad.
yeah,
Very bad. Like you
yeah.
can't imagine. These people, they don't know anything and they don't put the time or effort into seeing the differences in language.
Yeah, I think an important thing with language is that it's how it's used is what gives it its meaning. So usage can change over time, so therefore the meaning can change over time. So trying to get back to the earliest meaning, it can be quite difficult, but at least internally there's a logic. If you look, and I believe this is how you've gone about it, you've looked at how a word is consistently used throughout the Quran to kind of get a sense of its meaning. Would that be a fair take on in your methodology?
Yeah, let's say, for example, the word Nasr. How do people translate this? They translate it as victory. Rome has been defeated, then they will be granted victory and this stuff.
Yeah,
Well, try looking at the word Nasr in every single instance it is in the Quran. Will it always be victory? Of course not. And
yeah,
with time, this took me 2 years to realize that this word actually means assistance, not
yeah,
victory.
yeah.
You see?
Wow.
Now, every word in the Quran, in my translation, is like this. It's this different.
Yeah. Like there's a
Sometimes
big
it's,
difference.
Yeah,
There's a big difference
sometimes.
between assistance and victory, so that could have a huge impact
Exactly.
overall.
There is another word called adl. Adl, they always translate it as justice. Well, this exact same word in the Quran, it says something like on the day of judgment there will be no adl. Does this mean there will be no justice on judgment day? Or do you don't know what you're talking about?
Yeah,
You see?
yeah,
It's something like compensation, but they don't look into it.
yeah. Actually, there recently, I stumbled across an idea. It was completely just a hunch. I was looking at at a Hebrew word for angel, uh, and I think it's was it malak? Yeah, it was malak.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, it has two meanings in Hebrew, which is angel and messenger. And I asked you whether Rasul could have that possibility, and you said yes. And then you were able to send me the place in the Quran where actually is used with the double meaning by the translators because they had to fess up, as it were, that it actually meant that as well as just messenger. So it's interesting the possibilities there with some of the words that we've assumed all along. Like, for example, Rasul, we thought was just messenger or apostle, but actually, if it means angel and messenger, that opens up a whole load of different possibilities with where it's used elsewhere.
Yeah, and the question is, how did I know that this word could have these two meanings? It's because I have a concordance. I have collected every single word in the Quran, including the words that are wrong. There are words that are wrong, and there
Yeah,
are words that have no meaning, and there are words that Hafs ruined them, and there
yeah,
are, of course, a lot of Aramaic words that I did not translate because I do not find an Arabic root for them in the dictionary.
yeah,
That will be later in my Aramaic translation, that will be in the future, after this one succeeds and circulates among the people. I will then make a restored version, including all the Aramaic, all the Hebrew, and a lot of stuff that are surprises actually that I will not tell people now. It will be huge, this Aramaic translation in the future.
yeah. Just want to say hello to Yen Yen in the audience there, who sends their greetings to us. Suraj has this question. I think you kind of partially addressed the question. How will your concordance Quran help us with the study of the Quran?
Well, the concordance itself is not for sale. This is the know-how, you know. This is
Yeah,
not for people to have. But how it will help is that when you look at my Quranic translation, you will find that almost the consistency is over 90%. You
yeah,
see, over 90% consistency. You will not find this in any other Quranic translation,
yeah,
including Osama Dakduk,
yeah,
and of course, including Robert Spencer. His translation is not even good.
yeah,
And I say this with all due respect. He he has a great commentary
yeah,
and a very bad translation. He just used Pickthall and Arbery and ruined them a little bit. That's what he did.
yeah,
I'm sorry to say that, but that's what he did.
yeah. It's a bit arbitrary. Here's another question. Uh, Murad, have you figured out who the Yasin or Ashab al Kariya are?
No,
Or- okay.
after all of this time,
Yeah,
but I've cracked one thing.
yeah,
Remember, I told you this on the phone. I
yeah,
have cracked one letter of the beginning surahs.
yeah,
It's actually a root, and I will not tell you exactly which letter it is, but I will tell you that it has something to do with incantations.
wow. That's
And
interesting
and
considering.
in the Quran, in my Quran, I have the word incantation because it is just there. People
Yeah.
say, I seek refuge. No, you don't seek refuge. You're incantating.
If people haven't seen it during the summer, I re-released a video I made 2 years ago, and it was based on my hunch that there was incantations in the Quran based on few things I spotted. So this for me is confirmation of that. I believe Lloyd de Young has also done videos on the idea of the incantation of the Quran. There's quite a few of us noticing these things, so it's really interesting that you have seen that. Another question. I'm sorry if I miss any question. Please resend your questions. Hopefully, I haven't missed anyone. Has Murad read Luxembourg in full?
Yes, of course, but you don't like. Let me let me tell you this again. This work that I have done is based on the assumption that the Quran is 100% Arabic. I have
Yeah,
given this assumption its full
yeah,
intensity.
yeah,
So I I ignored any Aramaic roots. I ignored the work of Luxembourg.
yeah.
But all of this, why did I do that? You will ask. You'll ask Murad, why did you do that? Did you
Why
waste your
did you do
time?
it?
No, I did this because when I go back to Luxembourg after this translation is done,
Yeah,
and I make another concordance, including the Aramaic and the Hebrew, then
yeah,
I have a very strong foothold. Then I
yeah,
know if Luxembourg is talking trash or is talking correctly.
yeah,
Then I know exactly how these words formed. Because remember, Luxembourg, he a lot of times says, "This is my hunch. This is not 100%. Maybe I'm right."
yeah,
But if I have this Arabic concordance and I have done this hard work, original hard work, then when I listen to him, I can say, "Ah, yes, your hunch is right here.
yeah.
We
So,
are pro." So it strengthens my position. I have to do this manual labor first, then I will go to the Aramaic, and it will be the other translation in the future.
to apply Karl Popper's verification principle, um, if you go back to Luxembourg and you find that Luxembourg's meaning matches your meaning, that would be a good confirmation that you were on the right track. Would that be fair to say?
It could match, or it could evolve some way or another that I can understand, I
Yeah,
could accept,
yeah,
or it could be something totally different, but I will have to check his word in all the Quranic verses so that I double check.
yeah,
So it will be like I will be testing Luxembourg, not that I am just swallowing what Luxembourg is saying. No, at
yeah,
this time I will be testing him
yeah,
because I will have a very strong concordance to
yeah,
begin with.
yeah.
You see?
Right. And another question here. I don't think you would necessarily have an answer, but maybe an approximation. When will the Quran be available?
I don't know. I hope to finish it this Christmas, but this is just a hope that I cannot confirm.
Okay. Um, Siraj, is that how you pronounce his name? Siraj?
Siraj.
Siraj. Could this mean at this stage your translation will look more academic and popular?
My translation will be 100% literal,
Yeah.
and there will be no brackets at all.
No.
Not one single bracket.
No prophet or anything like that.
No,
No leading the reader into it.
not at all.
No.
And it
Uh,
will also maintain the Arabic, um, the design of the Arabic Quran. I will maintain that also. You will not find that in English.
now, Vilnius has asked, Lloyd has a table of non-Arabic words. Are you saying this may be an error?
No, I am not saying that. I am assuming the Quran to be 100% Arabic. I am assuming the Muslims are right. I am just using the Arabic dictionary this time.
Yeah.
But the words that Lloyd showed, they
Yeah.
may all be right.
Yeah.
Some of them may be wrong. This
Yeah.
I will only know and have a very strong um, perception of them, or a very like a certitude. I will only have certitude if the words of Lloyd are perfect or not once I've done this kind of work. And this will
Yeah.
be in the future translation, which will have the Aramaic, the Hebrew. It will be like an onion. You will see the word, and I will give you all the layers. I will say in Aramaic it meant this, then it evolved into the Arabic, which means this. You
Yeah.
know,
Another question here from Yin Yin. Can we say that by your new Quran translation, have we arrived to the real Quran?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
You have arrived at the Quran at how these people understood it back
yeah,
in the day before the standard Islamic hoax.
yeah. I see Karen is happy about. Thank goodness for no brackets. Hello, Karen. Um, so Dave asked, did you find a whole lot of Aramaic connections in the words, or were you conscious of them, but kind of sort of
Yes,
blank them out?
I turned a blind eye, and
Yeah,
then I assumed that the Arabic is right. I assumed Hafs was right.
yeah,
As I'm telling you, let me say it in a much more simple way so that people understand. It's as if I am this translation that's coming out. This is the Arabic Quran, and then later I will do the Aramaic Quran. You see,
yeah,
this is so that
yeah,
people don't get confused.
yeah,
So this is the Arabic Quran coming out. This is the concordance of the Arabic Quran. But then in the future, I will make a concordance which will have the Aramaic, the Hebrew, the Ethiopic, all of that stuff. But
yeah,
I won't be doing that unless I have had the Arabic first.
yeah. I think uh, the the contextual meaning of the words that become apparent when you do a concordance will likely give you more or less the same meaning as when you explore the foreign words in the Quran. I think there's going to be a lot of overlap. At least I would expect so.
Yes, and in the other translation, which will be the Aramaic Quran in the future, I will put all those layers, like the layers of an onion, as I'm telling you.
Yeah,
So this word it's Aramaic, then it evolved and became Arabized, and I will give the history of each word. That's after I consult with Luxembourg.
yeah. I can just imagine the line of text. Let's say the translation with a nice colored box underneath it, like our names here, with the let's say the Aramaic in a certain color and maybe Hebrew in another. That would be amazing to have that later
I have
edition.
I have a plan that I will not tell
Yeah,
because I don't want people to copy it, but
yeah,
it will be something that no one has ever imagined. I keep fantasizing about this, but this is after I release this translation in hand, and
yeah,
after I see that the people like it, the people get it, it
yeah,
circulates, and it
yeah,
does what I wish for it to do. But if
yeah,
I only hear crickets, then I will not do it.
yeah, yeah,
You see?
yeah,
So I will be doing my part, but the people have to do their part.
yeah,
They have to subscribe, they have to follow, they
yeah,
have to do all this good stuff so that I know that there is good feedback.
yeah,
But as I'm telling you, the future one, the Aramaic one, I will make some surprises that people never thought possible.
yeah. Um, do you know one of the things that strikes me is, um, there are a lot of channels out there that are in the same field as ourselves. It'd be great if they all get on board when your translation comes out and really promotes it because you know our two channels we have a limited number of followers. It'd be great to get the word out, and hopefully you know all the different networks of people will help in that so that when it comes to the translation being ready, that people are aware of it so that all of this work that you've spent so long on can actually be fruitful and can help a lot of people who really want to know what the real meaning is. And I think it might open a lot of eyes in the Islamic world.
Yeah, my translation will sometimes make Muslims look victorious, sometimes will make Christians look victorious, but as I am telling you, I do not care. I am only looking at the linguistics, only looking at the language.
Yeah,
Like, for example, as I told you before, the Quran doesn't have the word crucify, it just doesn't have it. This word crucify that we say today
yeah,
is exactly like the word gay. Gay back in the day used to mean happy, now it means homosexual.
yeah,
But today, the word that we say is a cross used to have a different meaning. I've
yeah,
got this meaning just from looking at this word in every single context and looking at it from the the dictionary, the Arabic dictionary.
yeah. Wow, that's going to be interesting to see what you come up with. I think I know the answer to this question, but in any case, Alika has asked, where are you planning to release your translation on Academia website?
No, my friend, there is a link pinned in the chat and in the description box and in the comments. It's the Buy Me a Coffee website. Go there and follow me for free. Once
Yeah,
it's out, I will send you an email. Then you can go and download it. So you
yeah,
have to be on my email list now,
yeah,
and this is for everyone listening.
yeah,
If they are interested, sometimes people
yeah,
who are not interested, then no problem.
yeah. For those who may be watching this after the live stream, we'll put the link in the comment below so you can actually you can follow up on that if you're, because obviously sometimes people say, "Oh, I must do that tomorrow," but then they might forget. So it'll be there for you to go and do that if you wish to. Um, now, let me have a look at this comment here. Hello, Gavin. Your comment is there are approximately 200 word differences between Hafs and Warsh readings. Is it worth adding concordances for the variant readings, some of which may be more accurate than Hafs? Example, I think that's Malik equal to King. Am I right?
Yeah, Malik. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, any thoughts on that?
Well, um, when I do the other translation, then this question will be like irrelevant because, as I told you before, Hafs is wrong, Warsh is wrong, Nafi is wrong. They're all wrong because we don't want any diacritical marks. We want to go back to the bare bones,
Yeah.
which was mostly Aramaic, and then we will know how it got Arabized.
Okay. So actually, yeah, by
And
delving
also,
into the
yeah,
Aramaic, you'll have answered the question across all of the variant Qurans.
exactly.
Yeah.
You when you have the Aramaic, then you go a step back, then you will know how every reader ruined it some way.
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
Maybe in the future I can make a difference just between Hafs and Warsh, just
Yeah.
for fun or something. But you
Yeah.
see here the word Malik, for example. This is
Yeah.
how I am thinking in my concordance.
Yeah.
What's the root of it? It's mulk.
Yeah.
Mulk means imtilak, and imtilak means owning. So Malik, when you say Malik is a king, this is an assumption.
Yeah.
The very literal word for Malik is owner.
Yeah.
Malik Yawmiddin, owner of the Day of Judgment. ما
Yeah.
ملكت أيمانكم, what your right hands owned. Ownership, not
Yeah.
kingdom. So
Yeah.
this is an assumption. It's a correct assumption,
Yeah.
no problem. But this you have to go back to the uh, very root of every word. You
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see how the word king could be drawn out of owner, because they're like the grand owner, but yet to really get it, you need to go back to the root. I totally agree. Let's just see if anyone else has. Oh, here's a comment I missed. Um, Lloyd and Jay, I think I have suggested some Ethiopic words. Did you find any? Is that
Well,
was that meant for us? I don't know. Maybe it was meant for others in the chat. I'm not sure.
no, it was meant for us, I think. So, as I'm telling you, this guy is called Dave.
Yeah,
Even if I find words like this, I just turn a blind eye and I
yeah,
look at it in the Arabized version, in the final Arabized version, what it means. If I don't find a root for a word in the Arabic dictionary, then I just leave it as such.
yeah,
I will write it in a different color so that when people read, they know that this word is totally not Arabic and it doesn't have a root and it doesn't have a meaning.
yeah. Actually, just on your previous comment, Vilnius says the owner of Judgment Day would be Jesus. It leads me into what I was about to ask you. Actually, did you get the impression, looking at the words that you came up with, that what you were reading was something more Christian than Islamic? Did you get the impression that it was a more Christian context, or did you block that out from your mind as you got the translations?
Well, what I can say is that there are a few words that are only mentioned with Jesus.
Yeah,
Like, okay, I can tell you one which will be like a bomb, but I want to see the chat
yeah.
showing some love. I want
Oh,
to see people showing some love.
yeah.
Then I will tell you what does
Okay,
the Quran say.
hit
Tell
the like
Jesus,
button.
yeah, hit the like button and follow me and show
Yeah,
some love. I want some reaction.
yeah.
I can give you one which is a bombshell.
Okay, go ahead. I'm bated breath here.
Okay, when the Quran tells Jesus, "Inni mutawaffika," people on the internet they keep fighting. They
Yeah,
say, "Did Allah in the Quran put Jesus to sleep?" This is the
yeah,
Islamic way of saying it.
yeah,
Or did he make him die? That's what the Christians are saying.
yeah,
I tell them, both of you are not very accurate
yeah,
because you didn't look at the language.
yeah,
What does the word tawaffa mean? It comes from the word waffa, which means paying back or fulfilling.
yeah,
So this very word, it says, the Quran is saying to Jesus, I am causing you to fulfill, meaning to die.
yeah,
So yes, it means to die, but it's just like a prestigious death. You fulfill,
yeah. Like he's,
you pay back, you fulfill.
but in maybe in the sense of it was his to fulfill the prophecies.
To fulfill what was he coming to fulfill, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
As if the Quran is confirming Christian theology. But this is the word. I am
Wow.
making you fulfill, Jesus, I am making you fulfill, i.e., die.
Yeah,
Why do I know that this word means die? But I have it as fulfill, of course. But
yeah,
how do I know that that it still means die? Because in another uh, verse in the Quran, it says, "In imri tawaffa," means if a person dies, if a person fulfills and dies and leaves behind money, then and it continues. So the guy definitely died. So
yeah.
this word is only mentioned twice.
Wow.
If one dies, leaving behind, uh, money for the family, and another time with Jesus. I am making you fulfill, i.e., die, then raising you towards me.
This is a massive theological game changer because in Islam they don't believe Jesus died. There was someone
A
swapped
hundred
for him.
percent died.
Yeah,
If one and
yeah,
it's not making you die. It's making you fulfill yourself.
yeah.
It
Wow.
has this ta,
Y-
making
y-
you fulfill yourself. You
So there's
see,
no doubt in the Quran about Jesus dying because it's literally saying,
if he didn't
yeah,
die, then the other guy who died in the Quran, leaving behind this money
yeah,
for his family to inherit, he didn't die as well.
yeah,
You see, that's why I tell you, all the Quranic translations are a joke. You
yeah,
should throw them in the garbage
yeah,
because there is no consistency. They didn't see the word in every single context. They
yeah,
didn't make this hard work.
yeah,
They are sleazy. They are cheap. They are
yeah,
bad, and that's why you have these translations for free on the internet. If you
yeah.
go to Walmart and you find something that's free, it's
You know, it's
bullshit.
it's, it's rubbish.
The premium stuff, the
Yeah,
high quality stuff, is not for free, and people put a lot of effort into it. And
yeah,
that's why I really, if anyone wants in the future to interview me, to ask me about
yeah,
any word in the Quran, I have looked into it in an obsessive manner, and I can
yeah,
answer him right away with my
yeah,
concordance.
yeah. Wow. Um. Well, I think the you know the work that you've done is going to be hugely beneficial to all of us. The great frustration for me for the last few years, and I'm sure for everyone else watching, is that you have an English translation, and if you don't speak Arabic, you're kind of dependent on it being an accurate translation. But if you're being misled by the meaning and that the Arabic is actually saying something entirely different, it's very hard to draw conclusions that are accurate from it. So there must have been plenty of times when you've read English translations of different parts of the Quran and been amazed by the translations. Is there any kind of examples of translations that stand out as being really misleading or bad?
Well, I can let me maybe we can just if we can ask the people. I could just tell you a word about every
Yeah,
translation. I could just tell you my opinion about everyone, if people like that,
yeah.
very quickly. Uh, I was just looking at a comment here.
Was it this one here, or was it
Fulfilling
something
the
else?
mission when it says it is finished. Well, you see, although I like answering a question like this,
Yeah,
but I don't want to because I don't have the data. I didn't look into it. I
yeah,
just looked at the linguistics. Now, after it's finished, we will
yeah,
together, all of us, we will examine and look into it. But
yeah,
it's exactly like paying back.
yeah,
Fulfill as paying back.
yeah,
If you have,
yeah,
if you have a debt and you pay back to the bank,
yeah,
this is what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah. But it certainly fits with Jesus' word. It's finished. It's complete. It's fulfilled. It has a similar type
Yeah,
of meanings. So
yeah,
it
yeah.
totally
No
works.
problem. Yeah, no
Totally works.
contradiction. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Um, now there's
yeah.
obviously
I want to just get back to your question.
yeah,
Sahih International is a bad translation, but
yeah,
Mustafa Khattab is way worse. And one of the worst is Abdullah Yusuf Ali. This is a joke. He is not translating the Quran. He is translating another text. It's as if he is high or something. This is not the Quran.
wow,
And Mustafa Khattab thinks people are stupid, and
yeah,
like he just ignores the word. He doesn't translate it. He just glosses over it.
yeah, yeah. There was a few times where you've shown like a quote from the Quran and then shown the English translation as given by one of the translators, and there's way more English words, and it's like, where did these extra words come from? So that's what's going on. They're they're faking it. Um,
Yeah.
let me just some very interesting comments here. Quran is prototype of Jesus. Word of God, accomplishment of all prophecies. That's interesting.
People in the chat, I ask you to follow the link that you find everywhere here, either in the
Yeah,
live chat pinned or in the description,
yeah,
because once the translation is ready, these people on my email list, they will be the first to know
yeah,
before this goes live anywhere.
yeah.
So
You
if
get the
you
heads up.
are willing to be one of my future community, then do that now.
Yeah. What about this? What about the word? Can't. Is it
Ahad.
akad? Is it ahad? Sorry.
Concerning the oneness of God, the word Ahad, I think, is the Hebrew Ahad. That's
Hmm.
why I have left it in the Quran, because if you translate it now as an Arabized word, it will mean one of
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
But it's actually the word Ahad. Of course, now I can't say exactly what Ahad means. I will need a Hebrew speaker, but I
Yeah.
think it means something like unity, the
Yeah.
oneness or the unity of God, meaning that
Yeah.
God has more than one in
Wow.
him.
That's fits in with Trinity more than.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Wow. There's going to be a lot
Unity,
of.
yeah. I think the word
Yeah.
would be unity. Allah is unity.
Yeah. I'm. There should be an Olympic sport for the Dawa team. They're going to have to do mental gymnastics, trying to explain away all of these conundrums now with when all of this is unpacked. It's going to be amazing.
I think the word in Hebrew is the same word. I don't know where exactly in the Bible, but it says "Isma' ya Israel." Hear, O Israel, your Lord is Ahad. He is one.
Yeah. Um, there's two interesting comments here. We'll start with this one first, and we'll go to Gavin's next. Does your book prove Quran is written by man?
I don't know. I am a translator, and when it circulates in the hands of the people, they
Yeah.
will say what they have to say. That's
Yeah.
why I don't have any word extra in my translation. If you read, for example, Osama Dakduk, you will find that he has titles he inside his surahs, and these titles they are very very bad. They are not in the Quran,
Yeah.
and it's just to lead you
Yeah.
into a certain direction. It says
Yeah.
that Muhammad is the devil, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you can't say that, man.
Yeah.
Just
The
have
words.
the exact Quran and don't do that.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. The words will speak for themselves. You could draw your own conclusion. You don't need to go beyond that.
Yeah, and he has. I saw once he has that people of Ad and Thamud. He
Yeah.
writes something like these people they don't exist and Muhammad made them up. Well, maybe that's not going to age so well because
Yeah.
what if we find them in the future?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you
So
can't jump the gun on that. Yeah.
yeah,
Another comment here from Gavin. Andrew Bannister and Mark Dury have produced excellent statistical analysis of the Quran. Would you consider applying a statistical analysis of word frequency, collocation, etc., to your concordance?
mm, I don't know what they did exactly. I would consider no problem, but at this stage, I only want to finish the translation and then go
Yeah.
on a vacation because I think I'm
You've
gonna
done
die.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, enough.
Yeah.
2 years, man. I don't have a vacation, and I'm just
Yeah.
embarking on this.
Yeah. I do
So
hope you take a break before you go. I don't know if you plan to take a break before you go into the translation, but
yes, I
uh,
do. Of course,
yeah. Yeah.
I will take a break
Yeah.
before actually starting the translation.
Yeah. Um, so, yeah. So actually, it might be a good idea if you're feeling generous to buy Murad a coffee so he can have a coffee while he's on vacation there,
Or a
uh,
Red Bull,
or a Red Bull
or a
or
Monster.
Monster.
Now Monster.
Yeah, uh, very good. Let me see. I'm trying to keep up. Let me see.
Dragon here. How are you, Dragon? She's saying
Oh,
Ahad is Ihad, one of unification. Yes,
yeah,
it's a unification. Actually, the word Tawheed, I
yeah,
told you this before, Tawheed itself means unification.
yeah,
We say it when we want to travel, for example.
yeah,
Your mother will tell you, Murad, you young boy, please unify everything into one bag. Don't throw everything like that. This is Tawheed.
yeah.
Do Tawheed. Put everything into one bag.
Uh, Vilnius has said, "Go fishing, Murad." I don't know if are you into fishing?
No, I'm into other stuff that's not very Christian.
All right, okay. We'll, we'll leave that to
To the
everyone's
imagination.
imagination. Yeah, okay. Uh, Enjoying the bright lights of the city. Um, all right. Okay. Let's see. So just a reference to another book there, Mark Jury, The Quran and Its Biblical Reflexes, especially related to statistical analysis of theological changes in the Quran. Okay, that's quite interesting there. Um, I think maybe in the future, perhaps others want to get on board in terms of maybe collaborating with you that might be interested in doing statistics, but obviously you, you'll have to. Yeah, that's be entirely up to you because I'm sure you want to keep a tight hold of your concordance. You're not going to
But
release that.
remember, any type of statistics to be done on my concordance now
Yeah,
is not going to be accurate because my concordance has mistakes, not
yeah,
from me but from Hafs.
yeah,
It's just a mess. As you know, the Quran actually now is a mess.
yeah,
So we have to get back to the Aramaic after everything is restored, everything is good.
yeah,
Then
and then
maybe we can embellish
yeah, makes more
and look
sense that
into
way.
it.
Yeah. Here's another question. I don't know if you've gone this far, but did your translation prove that Allah prays for the Prophet?
This is one of the things I'm happy that this person asked this.
Yeah.
The word ala in the Quran, no one translated accurately. I don't know why.
Allah?
Ala,
Really? They haven't translated properly.
not Allah. Ala.
Oh, okay.
Ala means over.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay,
This is the
my
exact
mistake.
same. This is the exact word. How do I know?
Yeah,
Of course, going through all the steps that I have told you before.
yeah,
So it says in the verse, indeed, Allah and His angels pray over the Prophet. That's what it says.
yeah.
Do you want to understand it as four or two? I don't
So,
know, but it's over. It
right.
says over.
So this big debate that happened some
This
time
was
ago,
a
both
killer
sides
debate, and both sides never
were wrong.
know what does ala mean.
Yeah, that's unbelievable that both
Makes me
sides were
very
actually wrong.
angry.
Yeah, that's great. That doesn't surprise me now because
It is the opposite of beneath or under or underneath. It's the direct opposite.
yeah, Dr. Robert Kerr said to me some time ago. He said, "We can't fight ignorance with ignorance. We've got to increase our knowledge so we're addressing things with knowledge." And I think that's a great example of it.
Yeah,
Um,
and I would suggest if people in the chat want me to translate a verse or two on air, that would be good also if they like that.
okay. Um, so
But
James,
I want them to spice things up. I
okay,
see now, and I have actually a lot of people came in this buy me a coffee and made follow.
yeah,
As I'm saying, this follow is for free,
yeah,
but I want more. I want people to
more,
spice
more,
things
more.
up. Yes.
Actually, here's a comment here from James. Yeah, Rob Christian said it's closer to honor over the prophet. That's
Yes.
yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
See
Yeah,
here, this person, he knows Arabic, yin yin. He
yeah,
says fawq, and then he says ala. I have spent weeks trying to see what's the difference between fawq and ala.
yeah,
Fawq is above, ala is over and game over.
yeah. Well, yeah. So essentially the same thing, really. Um.
Karen, thank you
Oh,
very much.
Karen, thank you, Karen. You're very kind. Thank you for the super chat. Look forward to an accurate translation. Amazing job.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
Karen.
much. Let me tell you, Karen, this translation, almost every single word is different than all the translations. Almost every
Yeah,
single word.
yeah,
It's
Do-
rare when I find something that
yeah,
resembles the translations. And even the word wahy, they translate it as revelation.
yeah.
Will
I th-
they have it as revelation throughout the whole Quran,
yeah,
or they will play games?
yeah.
They definitely play games, and then when it comes this word, it comes to the devil. Does the
Well,
devil do revelation?
I heard Angelica knew it uh, a number of years ago. She gave the meaning inspiration. Is
No, not
that
good enough. Not good
not good
enough.
enough?
Inspiration is ilham, alhamaha. It is mentioned only once in the Quran, right out of my memory, I tell you.
Yeah,
It's inspire,
yeah,
ilham, not wahy. Not good
yeah.
enough.
She's actually still operating very much within the sin, so it's no surprise if she hasn't got to that meaning. But she's no slouch at the same time. She's pretty good. Um,
I'm not saying she is bad. I am saying the work that I
amazing.
have done here is unique, and
Yeah,
people need
yeah,
to
yeah,
understand that. That's
yeah,
why I have spent a lot of time
yeah,
looking between wahy and ilham. What's the
yeah,
difference between inspire and wahy? I
yeah,
told you wahy. It's a very simple word. It doesn't mean revelation at all. I
yeah,
don't have this word in the Quran. revelation. This is stupid.
Yeah. Wow. So did you just say you don't have the word revelation in the Quran at all?
I have it, but it's not for wahy. It is for
Okay.
kashf. You know,
Oh,
when the Queen of Sheba,
yeah.
what does the Quran say? It says, فَكَشَفَتْ عَنْ سَاقَيْهَا. She revealed her two shanks. People just say legs because they're schmucks. It is shank. She revealed her two shanks.
Yeah.
This is the only revelation in the Quran, kashf.
Oh,
And this is exactly how we use it today in Arabic, actually.
yeah.
It's revealing something that's hidden, it's revealing a secret. And if
Oh,
you're gonna bare your legs, it's a kind of revelation.
it is. But maybe not the one people were hoping for.
Yeah, especially that she had hairy legs, as you see in the Jewish legend. So I don't want to see those legs.
Very good. Okay. I think we got time for one last question. Would that be fair?
Maybe three.
Maybe even three. Okay.
Yeah.
Yen Yen says you have made my day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yen Yen. Great to hear from you.
I want people to ask any verse or something,
Yeah.
because as I'm saying, everything will be different.
Yeah. So if any of you've got any,
This is an opportunity that you don't want to miss.
yeah. So now is your chance if you want. Think of a Quranic verse you'd like Murad to translate for you. Do you know what's interesting? And I really appreciate everyone that's online here. We got 43 watching, and we're talking about the world first proper Quranic concordance. But yes, if we were talking about Andrew Tate or Sneeko, there'll be probably 3,000 watching, which is crazy, really. I don't know.
Let me tell you that in the future, but just after this endeavor is over and the Quran gets into the hands of many people,
Yeah.
I will make a very good video series on my channel
Yeah.
that no one thought about before. It will be an idea that I have not seen before, and it will have Andrew Tate and Sneeko and these people, but in a very different way. You
Yeah.
know, your humble saint's way. It will have good information, but at the same time funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it will not be as superficial as what David is doing. I love David, but it will not be the same as he does or AP.
Yeah.
But also it will not be that academic.
Thank you, Kim, for the very kind comment. And there's one here from Society who says, what about the two-horned one versus?
What about them? It does say the two-horned one. The word qarn, it means horn, no problem. But the very root of this word is associate. اقترن هذا بذاك. This has been associated with this.
Yeah.
So the two associated things, which means his two horns. So no problem there.
Yeah. Here's another one from Darkwood. Thank you for this great job, Murad. Who is the man in the Quran who had conflict with his wives? Because we know the Quran is not talking about Muhammad. So who is this man? Obviously, this could be a later edition, but what
Yeah,
do you think?
it could be a later addition. And the word, the verse of Muhammad and his adopted son's wife and stuff, it has, what do you say? But the way it phrases the sentence is kind of different. I feel that it's like, you know, when you have clothes and then you put a rag that doesn't that doesn't look the same. It feels like it's injected in there. I think it's a later interpolation.
Yeah. Here's another comment here. In Uzbek, Karandosh means relative, literally belly mate.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm.
And I must share this comment here. Vilnius, truth is always revealed by one person first. The number initially paying attention doesn't matter. That's true. That's true. I suppose it's a more general comment. It's I think it's probably a sign. Sometimes people get distracted by things that are not that important and actually miss the important things, sometimes. But then I suppose I'm biased here.
Yeah.
Um, what about this one here? I'll come to DG in a second. Has there been any effect on the copied verses? I mean, for example, the Seven Sleepers story.
I have found something very interesting. When it says وَكَلْبُهُمْ بَاسِطٌ ذِرَاعَيْهِ, they say their dog was stretching out his four legs. But the word ذراع is only for a human. This is very important. ذراع means the forearm, not the whole arm, just the forearm. And it's the exact word in Hebrew when you mention in cubit length,
All right.
So this will confirm what we will later see in the Aramaic version, that this was not a dog, but he was a guardian angel.
Wow.
Because a
Gee.
dog doesn't have a forearm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite a revelation there. Right, here's another. DG says, could you translate 4:157? The one normally translated, they did not kill him, nor did they crucify him. That's a good choice. Thank you, DG.
Yeah, he made the hardest choice.
Oh yeah. Well, we know what the Aramaic was saying, but what you make of the Arabic one?
Okay, but I want this person to know that what I'm saying, like, it's not final. I will just go over it word by word.
Yeah.
It says, and they're saying, indeed, we killed the Messiah, Isa, son of Maryam, Allah's messenger, and they killed him not, and they solidified him not. They didn't make him solid, like they didn't put them hang him so that he turned solid. ولكن شبه لهم, but he was being resembled to them. And indeed, that which they varied into, they are surely in doubt of him. They have no knowledge of him except following the presumption. They say sometimes surmise, no, it's presumption. وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ يَقِينًا, and they killed him not for certain.
Oh. It's a lot to take in. So, do you think does that change the current translation, or what aspects would you?
No, but there is no cross. The word salaba means that you make him die and leave him till the sun makes him very much solid.
Yeah, it's a bit like we use the word stiff for someone who's dead. Is it something like that?
Make him stiff, because this same word has your backbone. Your backbone is the stiffest.
Yeah,
it's the very same word.
Yeah. Okay. Just Simon. Hello, Simon. What do you make of 48:24?
Let me check it out.
Oh, I think Jay was talking about 48:24, and I can't remember what it was. It's a really important verse. Can't remember.
48:24.
Is it? It's the only mention of something. Is it the only mention of? Would it be the only mention of Mecca? Maybe is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. God, I can't
to
believe I remembered it.
There is a word I just have to check in the concordance.
Yeah. I'll come to Trinity's question in a second. Sorry. Yeah.
It will be, and he is the one who relinquished your hands about them. No, about you, and their hands about them by Mecca's belly. From after that, let me see this word, ظفر. From after he clothed you claw as a claw, after he clawed you about them, no, over them, and he was knowledgeable by what you do, and sightful, having sight, sightful and knowledgeable.
Yeah. Clawed over them is a bit like had them in chains or like owned them or like imprisoned them. Would it have that kind of sense? Or
It's like
repressed them?
he. I
Oppressed them?
remember the definition. It just escapes me now. But
Yeah.
claw as a verb had the correct meaning, because dhufr on its own is claw also, so
Yeah.
it's the same word here, and it's like seize. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Seize,
Yeah.
seize. They make you seize over them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. My sense, and it may not correspond to what you have. My sense is it's got to do with Pharaoh and the escape across the Red Sea, and that Mecca there is the hallowed land, the hollowed, hollowed out sea. But I could be wrong. But it just seemed like the separation between both sides. That's the image that I
It could be,
that I have.
and remember, in my translation, there is no Badr. Badr is not a place.
Yeah.
Badr is a certain time of a year, and
Yeah.
this is clear in the Arabic dictionary.
Yeah. Um, Trinity Matrix has Mel. What was Murad's position on the word Allah? A lot of Muslims claims it's originating from the Aramaic language. Have you any opinions on that?
Well, in this current translation, I have it as Allah, and that's just it,
Yeah.
because you will get into a lot of fights. I personally, I have no problem to put it as God with a capital G,
Yeah.
but I know that a lot of Christians they will shoot me.
Yeah. My problem with
but
the
yeah,
my problem with the Allah as two separate words is it's anachronistic. That yes, Allah going far enough back in time, you could make that case, but once it's joined and it's been used in a different context, again, it's to do with how are people using it at the time. I I don't see them using it in the same way as they were using Allah, but I could be wrong. I am not an expert on the language, but
let me
um,
tell you what Luxembourg thinks,
yeah,
because this man wants his opinion now.
yeah,
He thinks that Allah means the most exalted, and that it is a title and not a name. And I agree with him. I don't have a problem, but this will be in my other translation.
yeah. Wow, that's interesting because that's that fits with a lot of other titles that are used also about um, Mahmed, which
Mm, mm.
it's
Yeah,
interesting that
I
there's a
have
lot of
just I've just seen this now. Yeah.
yeah. Um, Karen has this question here. What about 3328?
Okay.
Give you. Oh, and Yen Yen has a good one as well about the sun setting, the spring of
Yeah.
water.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
but one well, we'll come to you.
3328. Yeah.
3328.
Okay, it will be, O you prophet, tell your mates, if you to read. Let me see this. If you willed, no, if you willed the nearby life and its embellishment, فتعالين, then elevate yourselves. I will make you enjoy, and I will release you a beautiful release. That's what it says.
Okay. Uh, yeah. Do you know what it? If anyone is watching this after the live stream, and you've got the time, Murad's translations of these verses would be really handy for everyone else if you transcribe them and put the verse number next to it. That would be really fabulous. If someone feels energetic, that would be great. That would be helpful for people to read it afterwards. Um,
And do you
yeah.
remember that I don't have abrogation in my version? You remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
Nasakha is not abrogate. This is the biggest joke ever.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. That's pretty huge. What about Surah 1886? Did the sun set in the spring pool of
Yeah,
water?
this will be the last one
Y-
for
Yeah,
translations.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
And while I'm doing this, I want to ask the people: did they follow me on Buy Me a Coffee, or are they just ignoring me?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, everyone, if you've had one that you're waiting on. You're just gonna have to wait for the translation. Um,
Okay, it
so
says until, but people, when if they will write this in the comments, they have to know that this is not final. This is just
yeah,
that I'm
this is
using the
off the
word.
cuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it will be something like
yeah.
until he reached the place of setting of the sun, he found it setting in a fervent spring, not muddy. The Hamia is not muddy. It,
Fervent. Wow.
yeah, it's not muddy. This is stupid. And he found at it a menfolk, not just a folk. It's
In
menfolk.
folk.
We told, we told, O two-horned one, either torment or either you take from them maybe goodness. Take for yourself from them goodness,
Yeah,
something like this.
yeah. It's still quite cryptic, but I think when maybe in the full context of the translation, it will hopefully make more sense. But yeah, I presume it's still about Alexander somehow.
Yeah, it's about him, no problem.
Yeah, I wonder what the fervent spring relates to. Yeah, no idea. Um, okay, that's probably a good place to leave it there. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just looking here. Karen says, is there another meaning behind the wives? The idea the Quran never says wife or husband. This is something that you have to know. The word zawj is a mate.
Yeah,
People they think it's a pair. It's not a pair. It's half a pair. It's a mate. And
yeah,
this word you can use for humans or animals.
yeah.
So when it says azwajak, it means your mates, your other halves.
Ah, yeah.
So when they say wives, this is a mistake, of course.
Brilliant. I'll just give final words from Simon. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm looking forward to the final work by Murad, and same here. I like those words. Um, Fantastic achievement, Murad. It's amazing that you put those 2 years into this. It's not too many things that you can spend 2 solid years on and finally get there at the end. It must have felt like swimming around the world or something, you know. Um, and yeah, any last words?
Yeah, it's funny that this person called Masihi, he says, so Allah is OC, so it says mate.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
it's kind of, I think maybe, yes.
yeah. All right, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
So the last words that I want to give to the people is that please follow me on Buy Me a Coffee, because I will be sending you, first of all, I will be sending you free stuff
yeah,
every now and then. I
yeah.
won't be jumping in your email like these very bad marketing
People.
organizations. I hate that. I
Yeah,
hate emails,
yeah, yeah,
but you will be the first to know. And very good stuff being sent to your email
yeah,
every now and then.
yeah.
Because
Just
if I
quality.
don't see that people are following or
Yeah,
they are reacting or there is a good feedback,
yeah,
then of course I will be disheartened and I will not continue
yeah.
because
You'll
there
get
is nothing.
demoralized.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's probably important that the worker gets rewarded, and we encourage Murad in lots of different ways. You know, by following him, supporting him financially if we can, and spreading the word as well. So anything you can do is much appreciated.
Yeah, and before we end, I just want to thank there are three people,
Yeah,
one called Bennett, one called John, and someone who didn't name himself on
yeah,
Buy Me a Coffee. And
yeah,
I want to thank them for that. But remember, for the people in the chat and the people who will listen later, this is free. This hasn't this doesn't require any subscription.
yeah. It's not like
Free,
Patreon. Yeah,
yeah, free. Just put your email so that I know that when I look at my email list, I say, "Aha, I have these people."
yeah,
Then now we can scale this. We can then make the Aramaic trans. And I want to tell you, I will end with this.
yeah,
Let's say people, this Quran translation, it made very good, like what you say, circulation and
yeah,
exposed and all that stuff,
yeah,
and people loved it. Then I will make the Aramaic version.
yeah,
Let's say that went great.
yeah,
Then I might make a full-blown tafseer, but not
yeah,
like Ibn Kathir, that
yeah,
is bullcrap. No, it will be a tafsir which will have all the standard is all the revision that we are doing.
yeah,
It will be huge,
yeah,
but and maybe in the future also courses
yeah,
courses that will teach people how to turn any Muslim into a Christian. I
yeah,
have the techniques. I'm not
yeah,
a Christian, but I
yeah,
have the techniques just being an Arab, and I know exactly how a Muslim mind
yeah,
ticks.
yeah,
So if you keep like I keep imagining this every day. I imagine I am looking at the sea, and then I turn around and I look at the back. If I see two people, then I will retreat and I will retract.
yeah,
But if I see a horde of people pushing
yeah,
me, then I can go into the sea and swim to the other side.
yeah. You're going to be carried along with the support. Yeah, totally.
So I'm asking the people, are you with me or are you just casual viewers?
Yeah,
There is no problem if you are a casual viewer,
yeah,
but you will be hindering and you will be
yeah,
making me lose heart,
yeah,
and it will be very bad. So please, if you like this work and you want it to go viral, please follow me on Buy Me a Coffee
yeah,
free, and subscribe also to the channel. And
yeah,
we will talk again
yeah.
after
Um,
the.
just so
Yeah.
everyone is aware, if I may just have the last word on the last word is Murad and I will be getting together with Jay Smith in the coming days, and look out for that on
You are spilling the
Defanders.
beans now.
I am. I'll bear not say any more, but look out for a video coming with the three of us together for the first time in a long time. Actually, I think it is. So that's coming up sometime next week. So look out for that. Uh, Saint Murad, thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you again very soon. In fact, we will.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.